Last week, Monday, week 6, it's time to focus on you for a little bit. Okay. So here's what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to talk about the things that you've accomplished over the past 6 weeks. And immediately, if you go to the brain of business, 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 I want you to slow down for a second. I want you to think about you for a second. You're going to do something very uncomfortable today that a lot of people don't do, and something that I learned to do a few years ago that has changed my entire game. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but we'll get into it. So for the past 5 weeks, you've kind of focused on yourself, hopefully, and you've kind of focused on all these other areas of your life along with business. My hope and prayer is that you've connected the truth, which is all of these other things are the rocket ship, the rocket power, the rocket fuel that propels your production inside of business. The better you feel inside of your body, the better you feel with your connection and purpose, the better you feel inside your relationships, all of a sudden create clarity for decisions to move forward inside of production. But what happens when you start to have these conversations? You start to grow. But most of the time, we don't look at ourselves as the gift. We look at all of these talents that we're acquiring. We look at these habits that we're building. But in reality, it takes discipline and consistency from ourselves to deploy these things. Now, you can frame it as you get this power from God when you find purpose. You can frame it as you selfishly figured it out yourself. It doesn't matter to me. I just want you to sit inside of the fact that you are better than you were 5 weeks ago. And you're going to be better in 5 days. And the more consistency that you find inside of these processes, the better you become. Life doesn't need to be boring, right? We don't have to do the same thing every single day. But when you find something that you enjoy that feeds your soul, you wake up excited to do the same thing every day. And I'm not talking about production. I'm not talking about selling insurance. I'm not talking about, following a sales process or whatever. That feeds that eventually. But you got to find consistency in yourself first to then develop consistency and discipline inside of business or inside a process or inside your position, whatever that's going to be. So the biggest thing we have to do is we have to focus on ourselves first. Now, you may have done something that we're going to suggest to do today over this last 6 weeks more consistently than I'm aware of, because I don't get to see the things that you do inside the app all the time. But on day 2, you did do this. You gratitude stacked, you grateful stacked. And if you recall, you grateful stacked the person that signed you up for this challenge. Now it's time to grateful stack ourselves. And a lot of times people are very uncomfortable praising themselves at all. And if you don't like the word praise because it's attached to church or whatever for your past history and you got triggered around that word, use whatever word you want to use. But I want you to sit inside of how much you've done for yourself the past 5 weeks. It doesn't have to be shared. The stack itself doesn't have to be shared. The trust can be that it's being done because this is a personal stack. If you'd like to share it, I highly encourage you to share it. If you're married, share it with your spouse. If you feel encouraged, do a grateful stack on them too. If you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's just myself. I want them to feel a type of way. Then do one for them too. But I'm going to share my screen and kind of show you what this looks like from a personal grateful stack perspective, because it's difficult to look internal and know, what's a bright light on my computer, and know what we're trying to achieve inside of this game of talking to ourselves, right? So if we go to grateful stack again, you go to stack and you go to grateful, and we're just going to begin stack. Okay. Very simply, what are you going to title this gratitude stack? Let's title it week 6, Monday, stack me. Okay. You can title it that. Again, this is your personal private journal. I can't see this. So you can be as truthful as you want inside of this. And ultimately, I'm going to let you choose if you want to make this a bean stack, a balance stack, or a business stack. It's completely up to you. It doesn't really matter. But it's going to ask you, obviously, how it applies. Who or what are you stacking? I'm going to say myself. In this moment, why has myself triggered you to feel grateful? Again, I'm going to go very quickly here, but I just want to show you how this can kind of work. I have shown immense discipline to get to week 6. Now, here's the other thing. You could be grateful that you are now aware of the truth, which is you've kind of slacked off for 5 weeks. Because if that's the truth, that's the truth. I'm not telling you what to say. But if you have not done the work and you know it internally and in here, then I'm not here to tell you to act like you have. That goes for everything in life. You know the game here, okay? I'm just going to hit enter. What is the story you're telling yourself created by the trigger about myself and the situation? That I can be proud. I am worthy. I am enough. Whatever words you want to use, I chose to follow through for the first time in a long time. I chose to follow through for my kids. Blah blah blah. Okay, I'm gonna hit enter. Describe the single word feelings that arise when you read that. Pride. What thoughts and actions arise for you when you tell yourself that story? I want to double down. I want to bring people with me. I want to uplift people. Whatever that is, whatever that feeling is, once you start to realize your self worth, okay? I'm gonna hit enter. Again, I'm just moving fast. Now that you have identified what's triggered you to feel grateful, let's take a look at the facts. Again, these aren't feelings, these are facts. So if you remember, you got to differentiate between those two. What are the non emotional facts about the situation about myself that trigger you to feel grateful? I did every single chapter and form and action, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you did 95%. You're just calling out the facts of what happened, okay? Empowered by your gratitude trigger of blah, 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 and blah, 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 you're telling yourself, what do you truly want for you? Again, now this is the hard part. Like we're saying you as in me, and then we're going to apply it to me as in third person, okay? I want to commit to being this type of person who is here not just for himself, but for blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, what do you want for myself in and beyond the situation? So now I'm looking at Justin. He's sitting in that chair. What do I want for him? I want him to feel proud. Made me emotional saying that. I want him to feel enough. You see, this is what can happen inside of stacking. When you start to realize how personal you can get and real and honest with yourself, it'll slow you down. I want him to feel worthy. What do you want for myself and you in beyond the situation? So what do I want for Justin sitting in the chair and me? I want him to trust me. A lot there, huh? The power of this challenge. Okay, so we move on. Shake that off. Stepping back away. What have you created so far? Why this gratitude trigger has been extremely positive? Like think about what this could be for you. Why has gratitude stacking yourself been positive? Maybe this is the first time that you're talking good about yourself in a very long time. I know it was for me when I first started doing it. And I want you to think in the future the power of what this could be. What if you gratitude stacked or grateful stacked your entire week every Sunday evening? Or your family, or your kids, or your wife, or your husband, or your teams, or your manager, or whatever. What if you put it in paper or text or computer, or whatever? The thankfulness you feel for them and let them just have it as a gift, not asking for anything back, nothing. That's the game I want you to play inside of this. This is the start of week 6. We're almost done. As you've noticed, there's been sales training, there's big objection training, there's been process training, but the more training that we do inside of tactical, the more we need to be inside of transformational as well. So in your form, you're just committing to what you're going to do in the gratitude sugar stack, as well as anything else you want to commit to. Anything else you start to get used to saying, I'm going to do this and I want to see this followed through. So please hold me accountable to that. And you have 4 total days left. If you haven't tracked Core 4, if you haven't committed to it yet, you have a week left to dial this in. No matter what you've done great. Because it's different. You have the ability to stack for another 5 days. Like stay inside this game and see how you can come out once you commit yourself. But today's assignment is simply to commit to you. 1 grateful stack on you. Save it. If you want to share it, share it. If you don't want to share it, don't share it. But that inkling, that uncomfortable feeling that you feel inside about, oh, I don't want to share that with that person. They might think a type of way about me. That's God saying, share it with that person. It could be a gift to that person who needs to unveil the power that they need to find in themselves to gratitude stack themselves. Happy Monday. I will see you tomorrow.